I'm Mark, this is my July review for Scorpio Sun sign and Scorpio rising. We start the month with Mars in your 10th house of career and destiny, making an aspect to Chiron. This is a positive aspect, so there's lots of creative energy around now that you can channel into something. This is a time when you can put energy into something you really are passionate about and really want to do and achieve. Then on the 4th is a more difficult aspect because the Sun makes a square to Chiron. So this time there could be a past hurt come up related to your beliefs or your daily work that crops up again. It could cause a bit of a disagreement or argument, but you need to work on that one and resolve that. On the 5th we have two positive aspects. The first is a sextile between Sun and Uranus. Uranus in that 7th house, so it's a good time to plan an adventure or something new and exciting, either with your partner or in business, if you're in business, and you've got something to work towards, look forward to. Also, Venus makes a sextile to the Moon's North Node in your 8th house, so shared finances are highlighted here. So there could be a boost there. Also, with Venus in the 10th house, it could be to do with your career and the money you earn from your career. There could be someone that comes along that gives you a sign, or you just hear something that maybe put you on the right path to something new and exciting. Just one thing to be aware of, on that day there is a square aspect between Mercury and Neptune, so it may be that your mind's a little bit cloudy or a little bit foggy, so just be careful, don't make any definite decisions until this aspect has worked its way through. Between the 6th and the 8th, Venus makes three aspects. The first is the most difficult. It's in opposition to Saturn. This is Venus's probably hardest aspect for her to deal with. And it is a day when you might come up against an authority figure. You may need to balance home and work, or there may be some duty or responsibilities that you have to fulfill. But on the 7th is a free flow of energy, because Chiron makes a trine aspect with Venus, and this is in the 6th house, so work will become very easy. It'll be a very fruitful, very successful day, and if you engage the help of others as well, it'll be even more fruitful. Then on the 8th there's a square to Uranus, so you might want to bring a little bit more excitement into your daily life, and you may want to get things out in the open within your relationships. But again, it's a day when you can be successful. On the 10th we have a new moon. The new moon's in Cancer, your fellow water sign. So this is a new moon that's very sensitive, and it's a good moon for emotional cleansing. Then it's in the 9th house for you, so it's also reiterating that fact that you need new adventure. You need something exciting. It's also making a sextile to Uranus, so there is that desire for change and for something different, something new to get you motivated. And it could be on a day like today that it's something you read or hear, something that's philosophical or spiritual that sparks some interest. It's also a time when you need to expand your mind, challenge yourself. On the 12th your mind will be active and you'll be thinking in a positive mood, because Mercury makes a positive aspect to Jupiter, which enlarges and opens your mind up to new ideas and new ways of thinking. Also on that day Venus captures Mars in your 10th house, so this will put you in good light. This is a good time to get noticed and to express yourself creatively in front of people, because the 10th house is your public standing, so you will attract people. Your magnetism will be at its highest. Also, it's a good day for love relationships as well. If you're not in a relationship, you could meet someone connected to your work or your destined field. There will be a very fated feel about any relationships that start on this day. On the 14th, you have a boost of creativity because Neptune in your 5th house receives a positive aspect from the Sun. Now this will boost your compassion as well. So if you're working with children, you'll be very compassionate with them, and you'll be able to get the best out of them. You'll be very creative, you'll be thinking in a creative manner. And also it's a good day for using that imagination, get it fired up so that you can come up with some great new ideas. Then on the 17th is a more difficult aspect because the Sun makes an opposition to Pluto, your ruler. Now, Pluto's about power, so it's also about the underworld. So there could be things that come up today that challenge you and that can confront you. This could be to do with your beliefs, it could be to do with your knowledge and your reputation. So you just need to be aware that if things do come up, you need to be humble and deal with them in a respectful manner and not get too aggressive. It's also a day to be wary of going into high crime areas because things can happen with this aspect. Anything that gets broken today, you can't just budget up. You've got to repair it properly or get rid of it and replace it. On the 18th, we have an aspect between Jupiter and the Black Moon Lilith that lasts for 10 days. And this coincides with the Black Moon's transition into Gemini and into your 8th house. Now, whenever Jupiter comes in contact with something, it expands it. It makes it so big it cannot be ignored. And so the Black Moon and the shadow side will be made bigger so that you cannot ignore it, you cannot avoid it. Right, the Black Moon moving into Gemini, here the lesson is about acceptance. There is a fear of rejection that comes with the Black Moon in Gemini, and also there's a need to realise and understand and learn that you do not need to be accepted, you do not need approval. You can be a person in your own right, and this is the lesson for all of us to learn while she's in Gemini. Then for you, Libra, in the 8th house, you will be going on a journey through the underworld, and you will be tested. There will be tests of endurance, of suitability, many tests that you need to overcome so that you can be recreated or reborn in some way. Also, there could be problems with the sexual side. There could be dysfunction, or there could be enhanced intimacy. These are all issues that may come up during the next few months with the Black Moon in the 8th house. But on the 22nd, the Sun makes a positive aspect and puts the light on the Black Moon. So you'll be able to see where there are issues that need to be looked at, that need to be examined and to be worked on. So this was an ideal opportunity as the transition occurs, because the shadow will be enlarged and because it will have the light shone on it, you'll be able to get a good feel of what needs to be done. The Sun moves sign on the 22nd, moves into Leo, your 10th house. So this will change the emphasis onto career, onto your public standing, and onto your destined path. Venus moves signs as well. She moves into Virgo now. She's not so good in Virgo. She's in fall on Virgo. So this will quieten her down a bit. She won't be quite so bold and brash as she was in Leo. But she does make a couple of aspects. She makes an aspect to the Black Moon Lilith, so again she'll help soften things down there, so you'll be able to see what needs to be done. And then there's an opposition with Jupiter, and this may be a chance for you to spend some money. Now, you can be overindulgent with this aspect, so just be careful that you have good judgment and you don't overdo things. On the 24th, there's a full moon. This full moon is in Aquarius. It's at 1 degree, so a very powerful full moon. Being in Aquarius, it also comes in your 4th house. This is about the home and the past. Aquarius is about humanitarian and community issues, so there may be a focus not only on your home but on your local neighbourhood as well. You may want to get involved in some kind of humanitarian work. Now, the challenges connected to this full moon will be work and home, because it opposes the Sun in the 10th house. Also your public standing. How much time and effort do you put into your work and your public standing, and how much time do you put into home? You may need to balance these out. Also with Aquarius versus Leo, it's about teamwork against individuality. You know, these are things you'll need to balance with this full moon. The day after the full moon, there's an opposition between Mercury and Pluto. This is a good time to investigate any issues that came up over the full moon. Really investigate them thoroughly, because this aspect can be indicative of being fed false information or propaganda. So you need to, anything that came up, anything that people have said to you, you need to fully investigate before you act upon them. Then On the 28th, there's an aspect between Mars and Jupiter, and this is good because this can put you in the right place at the right time. This can be a very successful time. You've got 3 days now to apply this aspect and to put it into operation, but it's a time when you can have good timing and good judgment and get on and be successful. Mercury moves into Leo in your 10th house on the 28th and immediately puts in an aspect to the Black Moon Lilith. So any obsessive thoughts that come up, anything that you are really concerned about, then you need to act on this, and it's a sign that things need to be changed. Then on the 29th there is a square between Venus and the North Node. So this is a good time to invest in other people. Venus is in that 11th house, so friends can be of help, colleagues can be of help, and groups can help you as well. You can achieve much more within these confines rather than going it alone, because it's not going to be as beneficial. Mars makes a square to the Black Moon on that day as well, and it could be a bit of a frustrating day or two because Mars does not work well with the Black Moon. Black Moon is more like Venus, works better with Venus. But with Mars there's frustration, it could be anger, and it could be impatience that you want things to get moving. On the 30th, Mars moves into Virgo, so his energy will be a little bit more highly strung, a little bit more tense. But you've got this in your 11th house, so you can channel that energy into your networking, into your friends and colleagues, and maybe into group activities, and you'll be much more successful in that way. You get help from the Sun on the 31st, as the Sun makes an aspect to the Moon's North Node. And there may be a teacher, a guru, or someone that comes along, a friend, a colleague that points you in the right direction and helps you to achieve what it is that you've got to achieve. And remember that you can achieve more within a group situation than you can on your own. Thank you for watching the review. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have and want to see more, please subscribe. If you'd like to leave me a comment, I'll be glad to hear from you.